Beatrice Mtetwa destroys the legacy the Malaba legacy. The woman who fought to get him appointed just explained why she regrets it, right? Imagine this. You believe in someone so completely that you go to court for them, you fight the system on their behalf, you win, they get the job, and then slowly, painfully, over 9 years, you watch that person dismantle everything you fought to give them access to. That is the Beatrice Mtetwa and Luke Malaba story, and it is one of the most devastating betrayals in Zimbabwe's entire legal history. Right. The woman who put him there. Beatrice Mtetwa remembers how Malaba was the top scorer when interviews for Chief Justice were held in 2016, but the Mugabe government rejected his application. She went to court to force his appointment, ensuring regional representation in the judiciary. When he was appointed, I was extremely excited, she said. She fought for him, won, celebrated, and then spent 9 years watching him become everything she was fighting against. When Beatrice Mtetwa, the woman who put Luke Malaba on that bench, publishes a detailed indictment of his judicial legacy, it is not sour grapes, it is a witness statement from the person who had the most faith in him and the most reason to feel betrayed. Right. The brilliant mind that chose to bend. Here is the most important thing Mtetwa says in her critique. She does not say Malaba was incompetent. She says something far more damning. Mtetwa wrote that Malaba was not a constitutionalist, more by choice and design than by lack of the attributes of one. His dissenting opinion in the Mawarire case demonstrates beyond doubt that he fully understood constitutionalism and possessed the attributes of a constitutionalist. He understood it perfectly. He chose to abandon it. A brilliant legal mind that decided executive loyalty was more valuable than constitutional integrity. That is not a failure of intelligence. That is a failure of character. And according to Mtetwa, the moment Malaba took the top job, he transformed his entire understanding of justice into one simple formula. Whatever result favors the executive is the correct result. The effort to keep Malaba in office was likely sponsored by Mnangagwa himself, as Malaba had made two significant rulings in his favor, legitimizing the 2017 coup that ousted Mugabe and quashing the legal challenge to the 2018 election outcome. Two rulings, two presidential lifelines, delivered by one Chief Justice. And then the constitution was amended specifically to keep that Chief Justice in his seat for 5 extra years. The president kept his judge. The judge kept his president. Zimbabwe paid the price. Zimbabwe, the ZANU-PF school of ideology for judges. Now, here is the detail that made Zimbabwe's legal community collectively drop their briefcases. Mtetwa revealed that Malaba organized workshops forcing judges to attend the ZANU-PF School of Ideology, not a legal training program, not a judicial ethics seminar, the ruling party's ideological indoctrination program. For judges, mandatory, under the Chief Justice's instruction. The people whose entire constitutional mandate is to be independent from political parties were sent to a political party school to learn the party's ideology under orders from the men sitting at the top of the judiciary. This is not judicial capture. This is judicial conscription. And it did not stop there. Mtetwa documented that Malaba issued practice directives requiring judges to submit draft judgments to him for approval before delivery, and banned the Supreme Court judges from writing dissenting opinions, demanding what she described as a forced head mentality. A judge who disagrees with the majority is supposed to write a dissent. That dissent goes on record. Future courts learn from it. Legal evolution happens through it. Malaba banned it. He did not just capture the judiciary, he tried to capture the future of Zimbabwean law. Bail as a weapon. The human cost of judicial capture is not abstract. Mtetwa made it concrete. Under Malaba's watch, bail became effectively impossible for opposition figures, journalists, and political activists. People locked in maximum security cells, not convicted, not even properly charged, just held because a captured Judicial Service Commission watched in silence while the constitutional right to bail was weaponized against political opponents. Critics pointed to the Chief Justice, to the JSC's disciplinary actions against judges who ruled against the state as evidence of a compromised judiciary. Rule against the state, get disciplined. Rule for the state, keep your job. That is the incentive structure that Malaba built. And the judges who stayed learned very quickly which direction their rulings needed to point. The infrastructure defense and why it fails. Defenders of Malaba will point to his modernization achievements, new provincial courtrooms, electronic filing systems, decentralized court access, and yes, these are real. Mtetwa acknowledges them, but here is her response, and it is the line of the entire critique. We quoting Mtetwa here. Anzi, citizens would rather receive fair, impartial, and independent justice under a tree than bad justice from fancy electronic systems and spanking new courtrooms. An electronic portal to an unjust verdict is not progress. An air-conditioned courtroom where the judge reads a pre-approved script is not a temple of justice. It is a theater of the absurd. You can build the most beautiful courthouse in Africa. If the judgment inside has already been decided by the executive, the building is just expensive decoration. The bottom line, Zimbabwe, a warning to the new bench. Malaba retired on May 14th, 2026, pursuing his described passions of reading and ranching. Far from the constitutional crisis he helped create, new Chief Justice Elizabeth Gwaunza has taken the bench. 5 days after her appointment, she blocked the cameras from the Cape 3 Constitutional Court hearing. Zimbabwe is watching very carefully. Mtetwa's verdict on Malaba is ultimately a warning letter to every judge currently sitting on Zimbabwe's bench. History will not remember what you did with the power entrusted to you. History will remember it, as a matter of fact. History will remember what you did. Not what courtrooms you built, not what systems you modernized, not what rulings you delivered. But, in fact, not what rulings you delivered. That's what the system will remember. That's what people will remember. History will remember your rulings and those interests they served and whose interests they served. Right. Luke Malaba chose the executive. Zimbabwe's courts are still paying for that choice. And the woman who fought hardest to give him the opportunity to choose differently has made sure the record reflects exactly what he did with it. Pano pamzinda wevanhu. Zimbabwe tiudze, was Malaba a victim of the system or a willing architect of its worst instincts? Drop your take in the comments, like, share, and support independent journalism through join and super thanks. Thank you for watching, Zimbabwe. Peace.